What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to give my predictions for the Week 8 matchups that's coming up in college football. But if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel, and it helps me grow as a content creator. A lot of good matchups coming up this week, guys, and I'll get into it. First game I want to talk about is, Ohio State is playing Iowa. And, Ohio State is undefeated. They're 6-0. Iowa Hawkeyes, they're 3-3, but we know Ohio State got a great offense, and they're going against a good defense in Iowa. And looking at the stats, of course, Ohio State has C.J. Stroud. He has 1,737 yards passing this season with 24 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Just doing a heck of a job for Ohio State. On the flip side, Iowa has Spencer Patriots. He has 940 yards on the season with 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So, like I said, Iowa struggling offensively, but have a very, very good defense. And I'm going to just break down the points per game. Ohio State is averaging 48.8. Iowa is averaging 14.7. So this doesn't bode well going up in this matchup against Ohio State. Iowa's only giving up 9 points a game. Ohio State's giving up 15. So Ohio State has a pretty good defense, guys. Ever since getting Jim Knowles as the defensive coordinator, they have greatly improved on defense. So it's going to be a good matchup. Total yards, Iowa is only averaging 238 to Ohio State's 543. So Ohio State has the advantage there. Yards allowed, Iowa's only giving up 264. Ohio State is averaging 253. So actually, Ohio State is doing a better job defensively than Iowa. That shocking that I'm looking at it now. Ohio State is allowing 160 in the air, and they only allowing 93 on the ground. Iowa's allowing 154 in the air, and Iowa's only allowing 110 on the ground. So Ohio State defensively, when you break it down, has better, performance overall, but points allowed per game, Iowa has the advantage. But in this matchup, I expect Ohio State to win. I'm looking at the spread. Yeah, they got a 30-point spread. If I was a betting man, I would take that, definitely. Next matchup I'm going to talk about is Syracuse versus Clemson. Clemson continues to be undefeated. They're 7-0, and they're going against a Syracuse team that's undefeated. They're 6-0, so 2 good teams, battle of undefeateds, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Looking at the spread, they got Clemson at 14 points or 13.5, so that seems about right. DJ Ugalele has 1,665,000 yards, so 1,665, so 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. DJ Ugalele is having a good season, guys. He struggled at first in the first couple of games, but it seems like Clemson is starting to settle down, and they definitely look like a team that can compete for the playoffs, guys. So on the other side, Syracuse has Garrett Schrader. He has 1,434 yards with 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, doing a heck of a job for Syracuse. Of course, Syracuse has Sean Tucker at running the ball. He has 644 yards, 6 touchdowns, doing a heck of a job. Of course, Clemson has Will Shipley. He has 567 yards with 8 touchdowns. So 2 good running backs for each team. It's going to be a good matchup. Of course, Clemson has Antonio Williams. He has 2 touchdowns on the season with 334 yards. And Syracuse has Orlando Gadsden. He has 507 yards with 5 touchdowns. So good matchup. They're almost identical in points per game. Syracuse is averaging 36. Clemson is averaging 38. So both of them neck and neck. Points allowed. Syracuse is allowing 13.2. Clemson is allowing 19.7. Syracuse has a slight advantage there. Total yards per game. Syracuse putting up 432 yards. Clemson's putting up 417 yards. So Syracuse has the better, they have the advantage again in that category. Yards allowed, Syracuse is allowing 268.8. Clemson's allowing 338.4. So, where to look at it, Syracuse has the better defense, as showing as the stats are showing right now. But that's why the game is being played, and we're gonna find out who wins. Right now, Clemson's coming off a victory against Florida State. 34-28. Florida State played them pretty good, but Clemson was able to get the victory. Versus Syracuse, they're coming off a victory against North Carolina State. They beat them 24-9. So, like I said, Syracuse has a really, really good defense. But I'm leaning towards Clemson to win this game. That sounds about right, about 14, right at 14 points. So, I expect Clemson to get the victory there. The next game, Kansas State versus TCU. Good matchup, guys. Both these teams are doing really, really well. Of course, TCU has Max Duggan. He has 1,591 yards on the season with 16 touchdowns and interceptions. Having a great season for TCU, the Horned Frogs. Very, very good season. Adrian Martinez has 900 yards with 4 touchdowns. Was able to beat Oklahoma. Did a phenomenal job. Both teams are looking very, very good. Both teams got great offenses as well, guys. I'm going to break down their points per game. TCU's averaging 45.8 per game. Kansas State is averaging 28.7. So TCU has the advantage there. Points allowed, Kansas State is allowing 16.7. TCU is allowing 26.5. Kansas State has the advantage there. Total yards, 403 for Kansas State, 526 for TCU. TCU has the advantage. Yards allowed, 354.5 for Kansas State, 400 for TCU. So Kansas State has the advantage there. So it seems, Kansas State has the better defense between the two. But like I said, Kansas State coming off a victory against Iowa State. They beat them 10-9, so it was a close game. I don't know what happened there, but TCU's coming off a victory against Oklahoma State. A very good game, guys, going back and forth. They went into 2 overtimes. But TCU got the victory 43-40. I'm looking at the records. Both teams was able to beat Oklahoma. I'm looking at the records. If I had to lean towards a winner, I'm picking TCU. I think they did the better job in winning against their opponents than Kansas State has. They have the game at 3.5 point spread. So, yeah, I think Kansas State wins big, though. TCU, I'm sorry. I think TCU wins big in this matchup. I think they'll beat them by more than 3 points. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think the reason why it's probably so close, Kansas State has the better defense, and TCU tends to allow, points. So, but I'm picking TCU, the Horned Frogs, to get the victory in this matchup. Another good matchup, you have UCLA versus Oregon. You got 2 good teams in UCLA and Oregon. Oregon's only loss came to Georgia in the beginning of the season. Got dominated by Georgia, but they've been good since, guys. They've been putting up good points. Bo Nix has been phenomenal. He has 1,526 yards on the season with 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, doing a heck of a job. UCLA has Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He has 1,510 yards with 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, so 2 good quarterbacks. UCLA has Zach Charbonnet. He has 615 yards with 6 touchdowns. Oregon has Bucky Irvin. He has 429 yards with 2 touchdowns. So 2 good running backs. UCLA has Jake Bobo. He has 385 yards with 5 touchdowns. And Oregon has Troy Franklin, who has 429 yards with 3 touchdowns. So this is going to be an interesting matchup in the Pac-12, guys. 2 highly ranked teams. Oregon's averaging 42 points a game. UCLA's averaging 41. So 2 high-scoring teams. UCLA has the advantage on points per allowed per game. They're only allowing 22 points a game. Oregon's allowing 28 points a game. So UCLA has the advantage. Total yardage, 505 for UCLA, 512 yards for Oregon. Oregon has the advantage. They're a slight advantage. Yards allowed per game, 344 for UCLA, 373 for Oregon. So UCLA has the better defense, guys, out the two. I'm looking at the spread. They're leaning towards Oregon with 6.5 points, 7 points. If I had to give a prediction, I'm looking at their schedule. You know, UCLA just beat a good Utah team, very, very good Utah team, and they beat them 42-32. That was an impressive victory, guys. And Oregon just beat Arizona, a team that's been struggling. I'm looking at the resume, guys. In fact, they're leaning towards somebody. I'm not sure if they're playing in Oregon or wherever they're playing, but UCLA look like, like they can win this game, guys. They currently have Oregon winning it. I'm not too sure about that. I think I got UCLA winning this game, guys. I could be wrong, but I think UCLA can pull it out. Like I said, that victory against Utah was huge, and I think UCLA is going to pull it out in that matchup. And the last matchup I'm going to talk about is Texas versus Oklahoma State. Two good teams in the Big 12. Texas 5-2. Texas coming off a victory against Iowa State. To beat them 24-21. Iowa State played them pretty close. A game I thought Texas would have ran away with, but Iowa played them pretty. Iowa State played them pretty good, and Oklahoma State coming off a loss to TCU, like I said, overtime game, 2 overtimes, and still a highly ranked team. They're number 11. Oklahoma State is allowing 45 points, or averaging 45 points a game. Texas averaging 36 points a game. Points allowed, Texas is allowing 18 points a game. Oklahoma State is allowing 27. Texas has the advantage there in points allowed, but Oklahoma State has the advantage in points they score in a game. Total yards, 433 points for yards for Texas, 455 total yards for Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State has the better offense. Points allowed, 347 for Texas, 437 for Oklahoma State. Texas has the better defense out the two. If I had to give a prediction, they got the game at 6 points for Texas. I can definitely see that. Oklahoma State is allowing a lot of yardage. I'm looking at the rush yard. They're allowing 136 yards a game. We all know Texas has Bijan Robinson, who has 780 yards total on the season. He has 10 touchdowns. I can definitely see, Texas winning this game. Think they're going to pick up, the offense from the last game, like I said, back and forth game. But I got Texas winning this game, and I think they're going to win it comfortably. Oklahoma State, Spencer Sanders, he's no slouch. Like I said, they're very, very good at scoring. They're going against a good, defensive team in Texas. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I'm leaning towards Texas to win the game. I can definitely see it being a 6-point game, but that's all I have for today, guys. You guys leave your thoughts in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and Roll Tide.